arrive at the very controversial and disconcerting topic, as when does one have the right to kill? And to end someone's life by the use of deadly force, should that other refuse to stop initiating violence against their person or their rights? When one does possess the right to kill those who are holding them in a state of duress? It's the sign that states violators will be met with full force, or violators will be met with deadly force. And it is a controversial subject because the territory of the right to kill, as the signs posted, violators will be met with full deadly force. I haven't studied the very topic on this, and nor have I ever thought of taking it head on. But I'm just going to talk about this because of the kinds of reality that I've been faced with, and the kinds of deadly force that we all know humans are well capable of these days. We can see a lot of police murders, as well as police getting murdered, as well as having become aware of their surroundings with a keen eye on natural law and being morally objective to what we are seeing taking place. I believe it's paramount that we look at this in nature. So we arrive at a very disconcerting topic, because when does that person have the right to kill? To end by deadly force the life of another, should that person or other refuse to stop initiating violence against that person or their rights? What one does possess is the right to kill. When they're being held in a state of duress. And in order to understand this, we have to first understand what the difference is between force and violence is, and they're nothing alike. In fact, the terms are two polar opposites. Sound similar, but they mean different things. Force is when a person has the capacity to work or cause physical change, energy, strength, or active power. It's an action in which is in harmony with morality and natural law because it does not violate the rights of others. Force is an action which one will always possess the right to take, including defending oneself against that said violence. And violence, on the other hand, is the immoral use of that physical power to coerce, compel, or restrain another individual. Violence, again, in the opposite of force, is to initiate that coercive action, which is in opposition to morality and opposition to what is natural law, because it violates the rights of others. It violates us wholeheartedly. Violence, again, against force, where action is always possessed the right to take, including protecting yourself against violence, violence is the action which one never possesses the right to take. Through violence, no one has the right to take a person's life. Through violence, nobody has the right to do any of those actions. But by those violences upon them, they have the right to take force to end the duress that they're being led into, or end the kind of physical constriction that they're being led into, to change their energy, their strength, and their active power. At any time upon your rights to cause you for physical change in your energy or strength, or activating the power to be applied to something, you applying force, you are simply employing force. Through any time a person or people use immoral physical power to coerce, compel, or restrain an individual, you are simply using violence. Any person acting in harmony with morality and natural law because it does not violate the rights of others are using force to do so. Those who are intimidating or or using coercive measures to manipulate actions is that in opposition to morality and natural law, using violence upon another to gain access to them, to force an institution of their kind that they're trying to motivate, or another individual that violates the rights of another where another's is at stake. That is where the word is derived from. The word is in violation because it violates the rights of another. If you apply force in a violent manner when someone isn't initiating it upon you, the first thing you're using is violence in order to violate those rights against another. I'd also like to add into the statement that when someone uses violence against you, you have every right to end that violence through any force, no matter what force, aimed to killing a person, intimidating that kind of same violence or measure against you that you have at your free will. Force is when a person is taking an action upon every single right to take up that right performance to their behavior, especially when their behaviors is taking your life and making your life at stake, summoning your life and putting your life upon the line. You have the right to protect yourself from those said crimes. When people use violence, their actions will always perform in a way that never possesses the right to do so. They use their violence against you in every single way to subvert your reality and to make your reality otherwise what it is. What I try and say is I'm trying to come up to become a whole integer, and I just can't even do that. I'd like to go 100% with the stuff that I've written on, and I believe the power that it does possess, because it does possess a lot of power. It does possess a lot of activity, and it does possess a lot of very good and healthy ways for people to really construct for a thing to go into better places of this life than where we are headed to. And so when it is within our rights to act, it is not coercion or violence. People have every right to take upon an action, to bear arms, so to speak, as though it might be harmful to another individual, as long as that violence has been issued upon them, and any person that can be acting accordingly to their natural right to protect themselves against any kind of immoral use of deadly force, without the right to use that deadly force, who we all know a lot of times often do end up using that force, and they get away with it completely with their actions. The police, the military, they use violence against people, they use violence against oppressors, they use violence against dissidents, and they use violence against people that they deem necessary to take out. These are the same people who claim that they are just following orders. The order to take up immoral actions, get paid to do so, to take another human's life away, and it's all said and done, it's all fine, right? It's not. I think the point here is being morally objective in the fact that they're conducting violence at any time for any reason upon any other human being for any reason that they deem fit. And so those who are doing so, those who are employed to conduct violence, they're not working in force to correct a wrongful behavior. Rather, they are making the wrong assumption to take up that action against any individual. That is definitively what people are doing when they conduct violence upon a people or upon a population, and they have to be willing to understand that philosophically, to be able to understand it enough to explain it to others. Those who are not willing to go into those depths and places are simply not capable of teaching this kind of thing on to another person. There is simply not enough people that are willing to talk about what a person has the right to do when another person is coming to attack them in these kinds of ways, because it's too controversial and people simply don't have the capabilities within their natural abilities, the education that was given to them to be able to naturally and lawfully own the rights to their own thoughts, own the rights to this area, and own the rights to their own opinion about these things and about these ways that are being conducted upon them. This also includes the use of military and police, because people are performing their jobs without constituted authority to be able to make up for those actions taken. I don't care if it's said that, oh, you're just doing your job, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. No one has the right to murder another individual. There's no such thing as the right to murder. As a prospection goes, unjust killings in the fifth commandment and the 10th commandment of the Old Testament scripture does not actually translate as do not kill. It says thou shalt not kill. The 5th commandment of the Hebrews is lo titrak, or however say, I don't know how to say that in their language, but it means do not murder. There is crucial difference between the two translations. To murder is to act outside of one's natural laws, rights, and violence against another's life to be able to coerce and manipulate to do so accordingly to their own plans. Sexual deviancy, I guess, included. When someone transgresses against their natural law rights through violence, we always possess the right to defend ourselves with whatever amount of force is required to stop that aggression, up to and including the use of deadly force. Kill versus murder. I'm not a murderer. In that case, I would be a killer, and there you have the right to be that killer when you are being murdered. And there's somebody that's close to you who has no right to continuously breach upon these places of your life and go into the areas that they go into inside of your life. There is no such thing as the right to murder. The clean difference required to understand the word kill and the word murder. Notice the wordage I am using here. Using the word here is murder. There is another definitive difference here to understand. If someone is coming after you to murder you, you have every right to defend yourself from that murderer, no matter who it is, no matter how they're going about it. There's absolutely nowhere in the Bible that translates it into being able to protect yourself from those who are conducting violence with their behaviors against you. As long as you have to defend your body, property, or life from another human being, you have every right to use as much force as you need to in order to end those behaviors of violence that are being conducted upon you. It says, do not murder. Thou shalt not kill, which means you shouldn't conduct violence upon another person's life or take coercive action and possibly use deadly force upon another human's life where you have no right in order to conduct those kinds of violences and oppressive behaviors against said victim. Yet we see this happening all over the place today, all over the map of my life, and yet people are far placed off, way too far in fear to be able to speak out on matters. And it's ones like these, hard topics such as ones like these that I believe need to be hard topics discussed, hardcore discussed, not censored, not taken down. But there are so many discussions there that are going without communication in our world that are forcing humanity to suffer, and to suffer greatly. Without our willingness to go into such controversial subjects and get through these controversial subjects and be on a clear same page as to how we're going to live as humanity, what do you have then? You have war. You have all-out war. So what means anything to anybody if we can't get through these discussions, as it's something that needs to be discussed? I am personally writing to discuss these things because I have every right to discuss these things as to how dirty of a process that other people have made my life become through hacking without no moral obligation to do so, justified cause for having to discuss these troubling topics because of the things that have happened to me in my life continuously, over and over, repeatedly, on patterns, which makes it hard for me to secure my rights, secure the ground I stand upon, secure my own home, secure my own money, secure my own belongings, secure my private life, such as my family, my home, my data being breached, my own home being breached, my life being breached in every single kind of way that you could imagine by this man. And so I used to once feel like I could get to a home, feel like I could get to peace and get to create that sanctuary. But I've been far removed from being able to feel like I'm able to live and move at all. I personally feel like I've had ultimate motives changing the factors in the course of my history to make my dreams come into effect at all. They've changed me so bad. I have been removed changing passwords. I have been removed fighting these constituents. I have been removed having to fight the actual abilities that they have. I haven't been able to get sleep. I haven't been able to get sleep for a long time. And then on top of it, it's like I'm sleeping on my floor finally in a place for 3, almost 4 months before I get a bed, and then motherfucker is gonna come and breach my own home in that kind of fucking way, expecting that through the word salad, through the abuse, through everything that he's done to me, that he's just gonna topple me over and throw me into a suicidality and it'll be the end of me. Well, that didn't work, and now it's gone into homicide. It's gone straight up into poisoning, chemical poisoning, whatever the fuck is going on. So my dreams are completely being led to be unmet due to these places in my life where I'm just being far removed from my own constituents of my own body, my own constituents of my own heart, my own constituents of my ability to use my brain. No, instead, for many years I'm being lost trying to figure this stuff out as if I'm just a mime inside of my own mind. Put on them white gloves, bitch, and go to work, because good luck getting out of this fucking box. You're hacked every fucking turn you make. You can't get out of your fucking being coercively misplaced in your life, and actions are being taken on me that are unruly. Unruly. So where do I have to go about the concerns that I have, where these people have been pushing me to believe that there's no coercive action being taken against me? Yeah, right. With the people whom I love, people whom I've shown respect and I've been trusted with information, thinking that they could never do these kinds of things to me. I wish that I would have spent any of my days differently than spending it with these people that I fucking cared about, that cared nothing about me. Nothing about me. All of a sudden I'm led to believe that they somehow have the right to fucking murder me, because as soon as I go do anything about it, oh, I'm gonna be the one deemed as crazy, even though I've been fucking hacked, misaligned, pushed, prodded upon, you name it. So I'm gonna have to stop here. I have a lot more work to cover, but I'm just beside myself with trying to just get this stuff out to the public. I got 20 years to go, and it's super hard when you're fighting for your life. If you could imagine that I'm like legit fighting for my life out here. I've been fighting for my life out here in ways that people don't even want to see. And instead, no, you know what they say? You need help. You need to drop everything and go to the hospital immediately. Yeah, even if I needed to go to the hospital, how is that going to fix the detriment of having ghosts coming around to try and kill me? How does that stop them? Because I don't see it stopping them. I don't. Just like before in my life, I'm screaming out for help, being hijacked. I needed the money the most at that time, just to feel like I could escape this kind of abuse in the first place, not knowing where it's coming from, having to get my number switched, calling people asking them for help, them not knowing what to do with me to help me. Lo and behold, I didn't expect for all of this to happen to me. I didn't expect to have to be going through all of this stuff, but then on top of it, for like 3.5 weeks, it was set. It was mentioned in my mind, like, I have to be extra careful right now going around and going about, because I have people I don't know who are trying to kill me, or trying to attack me, or trying to cause an accident, or trying to push me into really bad, serious accidents. And I'm the only one left to feel it. What am I going to do? Call the cops and be like, oh, that red car that just got away tried to murder me? And lo and behold, even if you do these things, do they even give a fuck? I highly don't think that anyone cares about targeted individuals. I highly believe that this man that was my friend was paid by the CIA. I can't even imagine how a person could go to that sick level inside of his own fucked up brain on his own without thinking that he's got everything in the fucking bucket. Every last little part inside that bucket. My life. What a fucking dickhead. So anyway, sorry, just thanks for being here. It really means a lot to me. Maybe you know 86 Angels who are also lawyers, who can also help maybe donate a couple bucks to a guy. But I'm in dire straits out here, and